Hey guys, so today I'm doing a little basically progression video showing the progress that we've made with JODI, the V6 Civic. So what I decided to do is clean out the whole engine bay, take off all the wiring I had for the headlights, and then it was kind of dirty and moldy, so got some degreaser, got a sponge, cleaned everything up in there, touched up the paint on a couple spots in the back where the rack and pinion are at, in the subframe. I'm not worried about the scratches over here in the front. I'm gonna repaint the whole car later on anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But I ended up cleaning that up. I'm gonna pull out the wiring. I'm gonna redo the wiring myself and run it out through the fenders later on. So I'm not too worried about that right now. I just wanted to kind of clean it up and get it prepped to put in the J32. The J32 we have here is a J32 A3. This is from the TL. I want to say it's 06. I forgot the year, but I'm pretty sure it's 06. LSD transmission. We're gonna do basically like a direct swap in. So we're using the stock headers with the cats, stock computer, stock wiring harness, everything. I'm just gonna splice in the wires for the power and the ground to the ECU, and then splice in the wires for like the cluster, just RPM and speedo. That's all I really care about, and it should run. So finding the wiring diagrams has been a little bit of a mission, because there's not as much information for the Jswaps as there's for the K-swaps on the internet, but I am working on it. And I have basically most of the parts that I need. My Hassport axles haven't came in yet, but I have my radiator, fuel cell, everything. I'm going to show you guys the parts that I bought for it. And then what I basically want to do is just kind of show you guys everything that I got for it parts-wise. And then little by little, while I'm doing each thing, I'll kind of show off each part and show off why I got that part and what I'm going to do to fabricate it to make it work on the car. So here we have all the parts that I bought for the swap. Fuel tanks in there, our runners. We have two extra computers back there. Fuel rails. Those are some radiator hoses from an Accord. I'm using two Accord ones and seeing if they work for this swap. Traction bars back there. These are the headers from a stock J35. I'm basically just going to use these, the J-pipe. I'm going to use this J-pipe for now. And here, I'm going to just weld a 3-inch exhaust here all the way back. Eventually, I'm going to make my own custom headers and J-pipe. But for right now, I just want to get the car running. So this will work just fine for what I want. And it's cheap. You know, this car, you know, I'm going to do some things. I'm going to budget. Other things, I'm not. You know, I'm going to put my money where it counts. I got a Speed Factory muffler from one of my best friends. I got it for 60 bucks. I want to say it's a 3-inch inlet with a 4-inch outlet, I want to say, turned down. I mean, it's pretty nice. It just has a little dent down there, but I'm not too worried about it. In there, we have I want to say it's a 2-core radiator. It is a Volkswagen radiator for a Volkswagen Scirocco. Those of you may know it's like an old hatchback. I'm not sure if they're hatch or coupe, but it's an old VW. And my plan with that is I'm going to weld some tabs on it to make it work here, like a tucked radiator. Because Speed Factory sells one. It's about 500, 600 bucks. Jack Spanier Racing also has one, but they're all pretty expensive. I bought this radiator for 100 and something bucks, maybe 50 bucks, with the fans included. And I'm going to just basically just adapt it to work on this. So that'll kind of be a cheaper way of doing this for those that want to do the J-swap that just don't want to spend so much money on it. And it should work just as fine. And then back there we have our EJ2 mounts on Hassport. I waited about 5 weeks to get those in because everything's kind of like on back order right now. Glow shift gauge. I have a bunch of things in here. The V-van for the exhaust, the wiring, the AN lines. I decided to buy a lot of pure copper 12-gauge wire for the fuel system, lights, everything. It's gonna run through that wire. We have a battery, diehard battery, just a simple battery that we're gonna use. And then as for a fuel system, we have a 12-gallon tank that's I want to say it's like a plastic tank. So you can run E85 and alcohol fuels in it and it won't corrode the inside of it. And what I'm actually gonna do with the fuel system is the Acura TL stock comes with a returnless style fuel system. So all I'm gonna do is set up the same thing. I'm gonna use one of these Basically, this can come into right here and run a line off of that. And I'm gonna run it directly to the tank. I'm gonna use the same exact fuel pressure that it comes in from the factory, which should be around 43 to 45 pounds of pressure. And I'm basically gonna do everything stock injectors, stock fuel rails, everything stock. I'm trying to save money for right now until later on I can do like an AEM computer, a FuelTech FI50 or something, and do all that kind of stuff. This system's also gonna be drive by wire, not by cable. So since we are using everything stock, this car did come with the electronic throttle body, which I have a couple of them laying around in case one doesn't work. So we are gonna use a J35 manifold. I hear people use these and they port them and it works out really well for them. So I'm gonna use that manifold. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit and make it work. On that, we have the computer and the wiring harness over there. Sooner or later, I'm gonna take off the accessories that it has: power steering pump, AC compressor. I'm gonna take all that stuff off and then start putting the wiring in the intake manifold. That's what's gonna happen with that. As for the car, it's still on like a stock 8K suspension that I just put on to roll around. The suspension I'm gonna use is Max Speeding rods. Do some videos on their coilovers. I don't have any experience with them so far. I've heard some good things, I've heard some bad things. We're gonna make our own opinion on them. And then in here, ended up cutting the inside of the door. The inside's kind of a mess. I'm just using it for storage, but little by little, we're gonna make it work. These door hinges are, the bushings and like the hinges are bad, so I'm gonna have to replace that. But the car, little by little, is gonna come together. It's still in the cozies. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video on basically where we're at with the car and all the parts that we kind of bought for it. So later this week, hopefully, I'm gonna do a video on the fuel system. So I'm gonna unbox the whole fuel system. We're doing 8 lines. I'm gonna show you guys the way I'm gonna route it, how I'm gonna bolt it up, what parts I use, and all that stuff. And then we'll basically do it little by little and try to do like a series of the whole swap. So yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the rest of the videos that we have coming. Hopefully we make a very nice Jswap, and I can put a lot of content and information for everybody, because there's not too many videos with the J series out there. A lot of K series, not too many about the J series. So let's see if we can change that. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.